Good morning and welcome. No, if you're expecting a hug and a kiss, it's not going to happen today. You missed that one last week. But welcome, another refreshing breakfast edition for you. It's your favorite breakfast show here, Wake Up Nigeria. Congratulations. You've enjoyed the public holiday. Now you're back to work. It's not a Monday, let me remind you. This is a Tuesday, and all that work that you skimped on yesterday, you're about to feel the hit. No, they are.
No, continue.
She's
I'm
not
really happy.
I can do the show all by myself, you know.
You can continue.
In any case, welcome to the Mazzino Show.
Anyway, good morning. It's so good to have you right there, knowing you're watching us this beautiful morning. But then I wonder, what does GSD mean?
Oh, I know. For a Monday, Tuesday, it means get stuff done.
That's right. So yes, it's Tuesday, and most people are usually up and running when it comes around. So it's back to work mode. Holiday is over. Let's make some money.
That's not how the nursery rhyme goes, but we'll take it in any case.
That's how it goes. It's time to make some money. Is it shmoney?
Shmoney.
Shmoney.
It's a good day to collaborate with colleagues, meet with clients and other contacts while we knock over a decent chunk of work here and, you know, get that money rolling in.
That's right. We're not alone, though.
No, we're not. We're never alone here. We'll be joined by the delectable MM herself, so you just stay tuned, don't go anywhere. It's going to be the one show that makes everything just all right for you to get your day started. My name is, of course, Mazzino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. And of course, you should remember that you can use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all our social media platforms. That's for you to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
Yes, indeed. And everybody knows now you can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere that you might be. All you need to do is have the app on your device. You can do that on Google Play Store or on iOS.
Yes, you can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF channel 29.
Yeah, we also implore you guys to follow all our social media handles, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all the same thing, at TVC Connect. No, at TVC Connect.
That's all you've been saying.
Yeah, they hear me, Mary, don't you?
Anyway, let's check out what we have in store for you for today's show, okay?
Yes, indeed.
We begin with health, and Dr. Olatubi Olawale, a physiotherapist, will be on the show today to discuss a condition most common in middle-aged people, osteoarthritis.
On parenting, we will be looking at etiquette lessons parents should teach their kids with Damilola Ogunsi, an etiquette expert and also image consultant. She is the author of For Moms Golden Guidelines for Raising Excellent Kids, a book that offers mothers advice on how to raise well-behaved and emotionally responsible children.
For a musical performance, we've got Adebisi in the studio with us. Adebisi John Oloni will be coming with an African piece titled Make You Come See. We can't wait for that one.
And then we're going to keep up with the latest news in the world of entertainment. And Amy Tiana, a content writer and entertainment enthusiast, she will be joining us to discuss the newest stories in the entertainment space.
And finally, we have Damilola Ogunsi joining us. He's an actor popularly known by his stage name, the Goldfish. He will fill us in on his journey as an actor years after quitting his banking job.
Oh. I'm glad I'm going to get to meet him today because I've always singled him out as a very interesting actor. You know, so I'm very happy he's coming over today on the show. And that's very interesting, Damilola.
Someone wants to insult you, says, I'm sorry I called you this. I should have stopped at the first one. What's the difference?
Well, you know, when you're in an office space, especially when you have a very hard boss and you always want to make things very clear. This isn't a recent thing. This is from when I was younger and proud. I would always use the word with all due respect before a big insult.
Without any respect. You see this, Maz?
It was a terrible time of my life. I wonder how people could stand me back then, honestly. But you will admit I am different now.
But you know something about offices. It's so easy to get frustrated.
Yeah.
But that's if you allow yourself to be frustrated. Sometimes you can actually get away with certain things by, as soon as you step out of the office space, just blank out. Focus on family, focus on things that make you happy.
It depends what kind of work you work at.
See, no matter the work you do, the moment you start taking work home, it will be a part of you. See, there are people in the banking industry. Look, it's better to work late, go home,
to take it home,
than to take it home. That's always been
your family time. No. no.
What family time do you have when you've taken the walk home? Your children coming to interrupt? Taking longer?
I believe in being clockwork. Every single thing you do should have a start point and an end point.
Exactly.
You know, so if I'm going to finish this job today, I must finish it before 5, and I'm not taking it home with me. Everything should have its place. That's how I work. That's how I operate.
You know where trouble started in this country? It was bad enough that people were given excessive workload, but trouble began when lockdown started. So people working from home, I don't think bosses know the difference. So you have made people resume work physically.
Now you still expect them to work at home.
Get to the office, 8 o'clock, finish at 5, and then you still expect them to continue at home. Some bosses will call somebody that's been at work 8 to 5. At 10 p.m., I've not gotten that report.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Oga, you did.
Well, I'm sure there's a couple of people here at CVC who know that you can't call me past a certain time. I will not pick it.
I'm going to call you midnight today.
No, I wouldn't. In any case,
I'll call you.
I think we'll further this discussion inside of our coffee just because we have something that's relative.
Yes.
So do stay tuned.
Thank you for staying tuned. It is time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. In Benue State, residents held a pool party in mud waters to celebrate the Independence Day anniversary, protesting years of neglect and failure of the federal government to fix the dilapidated Otukpo-Enugu Federal Highway. The protesters say their actions will snowball into blocking the road to motorists, especially government officials, if nothing is done to mobilize the contractor handling the project back on site. According to them, the entire stretch from Otukpo through the heart of Ochidoma to Enugu roundabout is now a death trap. The protesters carried placards with different inscriptions like, quote, "Democracy has failed us," end of quote, and many others. For 10 years now, construction work has been ongoing on the Enugu-Otukpo to Aliade Road, but not much has been done to fix the ruts on the road, which has claimed many lives and led to lots of economic losses. To some health matters now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced that 6 additional Lassa fever infections and 1 death have been recorded in Nigeria within a week. According to the NCDC, the report covers the period from 19 to 25 of September. The new infections were reported from Ondo and Bauchi states. The reports further revealed that a total of 172 deaths were recorded in 2022 across 102 local government areas in 25 states. Meanwhile, Nigeria recorded 41 new confirmed cases of monkeypox infections from August 29 to September 4, raising the total cases reported in 2022 to 318. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control disclosed this in its latest monthly situation report on monkeypox. The report shows that the suspected monkeypox cases increased to 815 as the country recorded 111 new suspected cases within the same week under review. The Disease Control Center noted that 7 deaths have been recorded in 7 states in 2022. Now, outside Nigeria, Brazil's election is going into a second round in which left-winger Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will face incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro. With almost all the votes counted, Luiz Lula won 48% against President Bolsonaro's 43%. Both candidates fell short of the more than 50% of valid votes needed to prevent a runoff, and voters now have 4 weeks to decide which of the two should lead Brazil. In a brief news conference on Sunday, President Bolsonaro said the voting reflected the poor economic conditions felt by Brazilians and promised to appeal to voters who are worried about rising prices. More than 123 million Brazilians waited in long lines to vote in the world's 4th largest democracy, while another 32 million abstained. We have more for you on Wake Up Nigeria. Just stay with us.
And you are welcome. It's time for the dailies once again for a Tuesday. It's a work day for you, by the way. But as you set out to work, perhaps maybe you might want to pick up one of the dailies. And these are the headlines that you're going to be met with. Let's start from News Direct this morning. And our very first headline here is NDLEA arrests another billionaire drug baron in Lagos. recovers 8.8 billion naira worth of tramadol from mansion in residential area. At the bottom of News Direct here, the front page this morning, Osun APC Gubernatorial Primary Federal High Court judgment dead on arrival, says Oyetola's counsel Ibrahim Lawal. And SON Lupan to strengthen collaboration on enforcement of lubricant standards. At the very top of News Direct this morning, 2023 amidst Independence holiday, APC, PDP, LP's presidential campaign rocks Southwest with large turnout. And H1 2022, EcoBank, Zenith Bank, others report 5.6% growth in deposit to 34.3 trillion naira. And finally, for News Direct, Nigeria re-elected as ITU Council member. That's that for the front page of News Direct. We move on now to our next daily this morning, and of course that will be the Nation newspaper. Front and center for the Nation newspaper, this headline here meets you: Presidency, why Tinubu is best for the job, by Al Makura. Ex-governor says Atiku Obi Kwankwaso no match for APC candidates' competence. At the bottom of the Nation newspaper, women rally for Tinubu, Shatima, Sanwo-Olu in Lagos. That on page 4. And Nigeria, others tackling exchange rate crisis, says World Bank. Let's take a look at the top stories at the header here. NDLEA seizes 8.8 billion naira tramadol pills in a raid of Lagos mansion, and Alafi stole 9 ruling houses to present 1 candidate. Unilag to get new vice-chancellor on Friday. That's on page 27 if you find that interesting. And I'm not a social media freak, says Kwankwaso. That's that for the Nation newspaper. Another paper for this morning, we have, of course, with us here the Punch newspaper, and meeting us, the first headline here: PDP crisis. BOT convenes emergency meeting to rescue Atiku's campaign. Party bound meets this week, or rather board meets this week as pressure mounts on PDP chairman to throw in the towel. We can't go into polls divided. We'll make needed sacrifices to move forward, says BOT member. And Wabara-led reconciliation panel meets Atiku ahead of Tuesday's PH meeting with Wike. At the top of the Punch newspaper, debt servicing on Nigeria's Eurobond rises to 86%. And over 400 fleeing Kuje inmates still at large. Scientists who extracted DNA from 40,000-year-old bones wins a Nobel Prize. That on page 27. I'd find that one interesting. We have our final paper for this morning here, and of course that is the Daily Trust newspaper. We'll be real quick on this one. First headline here: litigations dug primaries as INEC releases final lists today. APC battles a lawsuit in Abia, Adamawa, Kaduna, Plateau, others, and PDP faces suit in Abia, Delta, Ogun, Kano, Niger, and others. And Nigeria's democracy in court dependent. That's by Dr. Carey. And of course, that's all we have for the dailies this morning. Thank you for joining us. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way. A very interesting discussion inside for our What's Up and About segment. We'll be right back.
Oh, wow. I just love the way we have interesting
a show
laughs
behind the show.
Here. Yes.
Not the kind of show I want to show you guys, but
really, the day cameras roll
on us
on
during
us
those sessions.
on those sessions.
Welcome,
Okay.
Adam. Good to see you.
Yeah,
What's that?
thank you very much. Yes, I was actually looking at my,
Oh, God.
But of
my
course, you
hair
always
was-
do, MM.
and I'm like, ooh, loving this look. I guess I'll keep doing it, you
It's not
know.
bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, like anything that accentuates my face, because I know I have a very beautiful face.
Start with the topic. I bet.
So let's just talk, exactly, Maz, let's start with, you are the one that said we should not be doing this. Okay, so, yes, there was a thread I came across on Twitter, and it's about a woman who was sharing how her husband lost his job 1 month after their marriage, at their wedding, rather. And then, after he lost his job, the first thing he did was to call her to talk to her that, to talk to her that, oh, I lost my job. And they started pleading with her not to leave him. She said she found it strange that why would he think the first thing that will come to her mind is, oh, you don't have money anymore, you lost your job, I'm going
out.
to leave you.
Yeah.
And so that brings the first question for me. Why do men feel like if they cannot provide, that's the end of their lives? I'm putting this to you. I was really wishing Mike would be here. Unfortunately, he's under the weather. Then another thing that struck me was when they eventually had a sit down later, he told her to give him time. And she asked, how much time? Is it possible to put a period or a timeline to when you would get a job after losing one? Is it even possible?
Are they still married?
They are still married. In fact, they're going 5 years strong.
How did the job thing go? Did he find a job immediately?
Yeah, I believe he eventually did.
Well, they're in luck. I mean, they're one of very few people who have actually made it. But the thing is, first off, the way men are cultured, especially African. Are they Africans?
No, so I think we need to establish
Black
that they're not
Yes, they are
Nigerians
black
either.
Africans.
But they're not Nigerian.
They are not
Okay.
Nigerians,
So if I
they're
bring it to a
Americans.
Nigerian setting now, the way we are cultured, the way we're brought up as men is to be providers. That first before anything else. Even sometimes love.
But that's what the man was also
It's always,
believing.
yeah. Well, so it extends, it transcends into other cultures then, I guess. But the fact is that once you take that away from a man, you've taken away his manhood, quite frankly. Have you ever lost a job?
No, I haven't.
I've lost one twice. I've lost the same one twice.
You walked out on the jobs,
Well,
as you know. It wasn't like you were kicked out.
It's still an exit.
Yes,
However
but
you wanna
both of them were choices.
see, listen,
Yeah, we
sometimes
know that you
these
guys know
choices
each other
you have
really
to...
well.
Oh, stop
Really
it.
well now.
Don't feel left
I
out.
didn't mean that way.
But these choices are choices that sometimes, even no matter how you look at them and say they're choices, it's still something that has to happen. It depends how you look at an exit. Exits for me are opportunities, and you have to be ready for an exit right from when you are comfortable inside of an opportunity. If you don't have an exit plan, then you're in trouble. So for that gentleman who didn't know what to do after his wedding, I would say that he didn't have an exit plan plotted out from the beginning of when he even got his first job. You need to know that, first of all, my network is something that I really need to strengthen before I leave a job. Secondly, I need to have, my father always says, a man with a craft never goes hungry. What do you do? Is that the only thing you do? Because you can't survive in just one job alone. If you have a craft, whether it's plaiting hair, barbing hair, no matter how small, as long as it brings a
Even
bit
if
of money.
he's talking, like
even
me
if it-
now, I do voiceover. I don't know about Amazon, but I do voiceover. I model, I translate.
So now, based on
What are you
that,
feeling like? You know
use
you have a clothing line. Let's hear a word.
use your network and that talent, and you can build other things. I've stayed 3 months without a job before, comfortably. So, well, the two things regarding the timeline and all, you can never put a timeline to it.
So it's important to also establish here the moral of the story, which she pointed out, that it's not every man that would leave you after you have stayed with them through their roughest.
Not every woman, you mean?
Sorry, not every woman that would stay. No,
every
man.
man.
Not every man that would
yeah.
stay with you. While you've been with him through his roughest times.
Yes.
Because now that they're at the point where he's made it, they are comfortable together. He remembers those times that she has been with him through it all. Weathering the storm, she kept on bringing in the monies, even though he kept on reassuring her, which is something that is very profound in that story. He kept on reassuring her. He kept on letting her know that, see,
I
babe,
will get. Yeah.
I am working towards this. I appreciate.
That word.
Very important. I appreciate the value that you're bringing. I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate your support. I know that it's not easy, but hey, bear with us through these times. I'm also trying. I mean, he made that reassurance, which is actually a problem that some of us have in our relationships. Lack of communication.
Booyah.
Because you are not talking. You don't have money. You have lost job. Wife is the one doing all the hustle.
Because of
She's
the
cranky.
culture.
She's
Men are scared what their women will say when they
and
say,
then,
I'm out of a job.
My darling, communicate.
My darling.
Tell me that's okay. All I just need is a simple, babe, I appreciate what you're doing. I love you for real.
Can I say something about that?
Allow me finish. Sorry,
Before
darling.
you do,
I appreciate you. I love you for this, but please, just, we'll get there. We will just that little reassurance. It doesn't matter how long he's out of a job.
I just remembered something I saw on Twitter as well. Dayemi, the actor, where he said it opened up to his babe finally that cash flow is not flowing. And to his shock, he woke up to a credit alert that was more than his needs. Sometimes just telling your spouse, you never can
blessing,
tell.
huh?
Especially if she knows you are not the dependent type, like the type that sucks
That
up to her.
hustles.
You are the hustler. And then you didn't have money and you told her. Now, let's remind ourselves that it doesn't work like that in all cases.
Yeah.
But you wanted to say something.
I honestly have forgotten what I wanted to say. I wanted to go off something that she was saying. I think it was something about communication and how it's I think that is actually the basis of every single thing. No matter every single problem can be solved based on the fact that you have a foundation of communication. A marriage for me is not about love or trust. It's about communication. If you're able to communicate with your partner and they know and understand you,
promise you.
they also have to understand you. Everything is going to be A-okay. You guys will drink Gary
what
together.
What a woman just needs is that I am sorry. I appreciate you. Thanks for being there. Bakam.
Most men just left the WhatsApp group. But at this point, we have to take a break. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit.
We'll be back. And you're welcome back. What you don't know is I'm just coming off a fight with Mary, but I've got a smile on my face. It's all good. Welcome. Now, today on Health, we begin with Dr. Olatubi Olawale. Now, he's a physiotherapist with specialty in sports medicine and also orthopedics. That's orthopedics rehabilitation. Now, he's here to discuss conditions most common in middle-aged people, osteoarthritis, which reminds me, I think I am middle-aged, and I think I do have such a condition. Yeah. Good morning and welcome, Dr. Wale. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
I'm glad that Mike isn't here because I want to have this conversation with you because I think this is like I'm not paying for this consultation. So
You pay.
So let's define what osteoarthritis is, first of all. What is it exactly?
Osteoarthritis is a disease of a joint, movable joint most of the time, and it's the most popular, most common kind of arthritis. Okay. We have different kind of arthritis, but osteoarthritis is the most common kind of arthritis that affects a movable joint.
What causes it exactly?
Majorly, there are risk factors for osteoarthritis because we don't know the cause of osteoarthritis, but we have risk factors. One of the risk factors is actually previous injuries to the joint.
Aha.
That's one of the major risk factors, previous injury. Then another risk factor is overweight and obesity.
Okay. So of the two that you mentioned, I think it might be the first one that's actually the case here with me.
Okay.
Once had a bike injury. I fell off of a bike and then landed on my knee really hard. It was okay after that, but later years I began to feel like, and I think I bent it backwards as well one time. So yeah, ouch. So that's it.
Then we also have another risk factor for osteoarthritis is age. It's age-related.
Yeah.
When you're getting to 45.
Well, what do you say? What do you say? You're calling me old now, huh?
No. I said no. So you choose either previous injury, you choose either over 8.
I will go with previous injury. Let's not use the age one.
then also osteoarthritis can be genetic actually.
Okay.
And it is more in female than male.
Oh, okay.
So those are the risk factors for osteoarthritis.
Okay, interesting. I've also heard stories and experienced that you will sometimes find that when the weather is cooler, you'd actually experience these pains or joint aches. Is this also something that goes with osteoarthritis, or am I just making that up in my head?
Yes, generally when the weather is cooler, the joints get, there's something we call vasoconstriction of the vessels,
Okay.
and the pain gets more.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's advisable that when the weather is cold, protect your joints with probably socks or a joint support. Then.
Oh, wow. That is very interesting. Now, that's very good. Now, so are there habits or medical resolutions to this condition?
Now, the advocacy we're going to doing about osteoarthritis, because last month was World Physiotherapy Day, and it was talking about osteoarthritis, the role of physiotherapy in osteoarthritis management. And the major thing is about osteoarthritis is exercise, regular exercise, how exercise can prevent osteoarthritis from occurring. Because once you have a previous injury on your knee, majorly the knee is actually the most common joint where osteoarthritis occur because it's actually a weight-bearing joint.
Yeah.
So once you have an issue on your knee, the best thing to do is to exercise. Exercise can prevent the osteoarthritis from occurring, and it can even prevent it from getting worse.
Or can it make it go away? Because I keep hearing you say prevent it from happening, prevent it from getting worse, but once you have it, will it ever go away?
It can be managed. It can be managed, and if it's in the early stage, you can. At this stage, it can go away. When you really exercise, you do the proper exercise you have to do. Okay. Major exercise you have to do to prevent or to make osteoarthritis get relieved is that you strengthen all the muscles around the joint. Oh. For example, if I'm having osteoarthritis on my knee, do strengthening exercises for my quadriceps muscles, my hamstring muscles, all the muscles surrounding the knee joint, so that the weight is reduced on the knee joint.
Okay. So what kind of exercise would that be exactly?
Squatting exercises, strengthening exercises, running, jogging, physical exercises that has to do with low pressure on the joint.
Okay. What kind of exercise would be too much for that condition?
Some people squat with even weight on their hands.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
and some people do a lot of leg presses in the gym. You know, we are putting a lot of pressure.
More pressure on it.
On the knee.
So that's not safe.
It's really not safe. It's really not safe. But regardless, I used to say, before you start any exercise, it's best you consult with a physiotherapist so that they can prescribe a kind of exercise for you to do. And also, exercises actually prevent, because as the joint gets wearing off, there is a possibility for you to do a joint replacement.
Oh, wow.
Surgeon can say it's worn off, you can do a joint replacement.
Wow.
So exercise prevents this from happening. You can actually not have a joint replacement at the long run. So,
Okay, so we've been focusing on the knees. What other parts of the body are at risk?
the hands,
Wrists.
the wrists, the hip, ankle.
Joints, generally.
It's a disease of the joint, movable joint. Any joint that's movable, the fingers can have osteoarthritis. So also work-related musculoskeletal disorder, like, okay, if you are let me say a driver, you know, a tanker driver, it has to do with pressing
Muscles,
the brake,
yeah, and everything.
using the leg every time, or you're a tailor using your leg.
Yeah.
So any joint that's been, you're using the joint very often, you're prone to having this kind of...
So, there are a couple other ailments that I have come across in maybe experienced or had people talk about, especially doctors like you, that sound like similar. I don't know if these are related to arthritis itself. There's Dequer veins, there's carpal tunnel, and these two diseases often are about use or habit. If you constantly use these, you would have these. Are they also considered arthritis as well, or osteoarthritis?
Those are work-related musculoskeletal disorders.
Okay, I'm not going to try and say that 3 times.
So osteoarthritis actually relates to joints.
All right.
There are a lot of arthritis. So there's osteoarthritis, there's rheumatoid arthritis, there's gout arthritis.
There we go.
But osteoarthritis is the most common kind of arthritis.
Okay.
And it's very preventable and it can be treated.
All right, okay. So the advocacy that you guys have been doing since last month, World Arthritis Month,
World Physiotherapy Day.
Physiotherapy Day. So how have people taken on to these messages that you're passing?
No, it's
And what efforts exactly have you put in?
It's been a wonderful, wonderful program since we've been started since last month. And people are actually aware that, okay, now, when I have pains on my joint, I need to exercise. I need to be active. The more you move, the better it is for you. So people feel that when I'm having pains on my joints,
Just wait for it to heal.
I just wait for it to heal. No. When you're active, let me just give you a simple scenario for osteoarthritis for the knee.
Okay.
Now, this is one of the joints, the femur. This is another joint here.
Yeah.
Now, this is the joint. In between the joints, there is a cartilage.
Okay.
So as the cartilage, the joints move, as just keep moving, the cartilage actually wears off.
Okay.
Then it gets to a stage, the bone starts touching itself.
Ouch.
That's why some people hear the sound, this crepitor sound, crack, when they move their joints. Crack, crack. So once you move, there is synovial fluid going to the joints.
Okay.
It's lubricated. There's a lubrication going there. So you'll be fine. Some people feel that there's pain on my knee. When you take 5 steps or 6 steps, you feel that the pain is gone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So I advise people most of the time, when you're having osteoarthritis, the first thing to do is move your joint, exercise yourself.
moving. Don't
There's going to be
stay.
synovial fluid going around the joint.
Wow, Dr. Wale, that is very good. Thank you for the consultation, a free consultation.
You're going to pay me after the show.
But I hope that you're coming back and that we can talk more about these kinds of ailments, because I think it's something that many people really need to know about, because it's like an everyday ailment that people really think that's going to go away one time or the other. So thank you very much, man. Good to have you on the show. Looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you very
Do
much.
stay tuned. We've got more coming your way inside of Wake Up Nigeria. It's time to get back on that fight I was having with Mary. Mary, hey, I hear you're in the kitchen.
Hello, man. Share.
Are we done with the fight? Are we good?
I'll think about it. My
You
people
think
will call
you think about it, because you know, whatever the case.
Seriously, Maz. Okay, so you're welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Dida is in charge, making us breakfast, which is going to be something that'll go well with hot coffee or hot chocolate. Yeah, you tell us what it is. I was about to say it, and I said no.
So we're making cinnamon rolls.
Yes, we're making cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Anything that has cinnamon always interests me, because there's something really cool about cinnamon, especially the taste. Okay, and this the aroma, it's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making use of?
So for our dough, that's the bread dough, we'll be using our flour, milk, egg, yeast, sugar, and salt.
Okay, so that's for the bread dough. So what are we using that for?
So this is for the coating.
Okay.
Before twisting and putting it in your air fryer.
Okay.
So we're using our brown sugar,
Okay.
lots of cinnamon,
Okay.
and butter.
Okay.
use the
Lots of cinnamon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
this
can
is
either-
a lot of cinnamon,
This
right?
is just few. I'm still going to add more to it here.
Because I know that
Yeah.
the things I use cinnamon for, that one is even small.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the ingredients. Just check it out on your screen right now and scribble down whatever it is that you may have missed as we're calling it out. Okay, so let's tell you that you're going to be making use of an egg, 1 teaspoon of yeast, quarter salt, that's quarter tablespoon of salt, sugar as well. You're making use of milk, flour, butter, cinnamon, brown sugar, and of course vanilla essence, which you forgot to mention. That's the vanilla essence right there. So what have you put in so far?
So I've added my egg,
Okay,
sugar,
okay,
salt,
Okay.
a pinch of salt.
okay. Egg,
Yeast.
sugar, pinch of salt,
Yeast.
yeast, okay.
Then I'll be adding my vanilla flavor with warm milk.
Okay, okay. So the milk has to be warm.
Yes.
What's the purpose of the warmth?
Because of the yeast, anything you use, you have to you have to activate your yeast. So by activating your yeast, you need a warm
Liquid.
liquid.
Uh-huh,
to it,
uh-huh. Okay, so I've always wondered about something. You know, we have more of powdered milk than, liquid milk.
milk.
Because liquid milk itself is not even gold now. It's something more than gold, maybe diamond. So I'm just wondering, if I have my liquid milk, how can I get, the powdered milk, how can I get the same consistency as the condensed milk for making my...
Okay, if for every 1 cup of milk
Okay.
in any recipe, you have your 1 cup of powder. For every 1 cup of liquid milk
Yeah.
in any recipe, you have your 1 cup of powdered milk mixed with ½ cup of water. Then you get your liquid milk.
1
Yes.
cup of powdered milk. So you mix it with ½ cup of water.
Warm
So
water,
warm water, so you can get your
Warm cup of milk.
1 cup of milk.
Then
That's
you can
amazing.
measure out your 1 cup of milk from it.
You don't need to add sugar because I know it's usually sweet. You don't need to add sugar.
No, this is not condensed milk. This is just your evaporated milk.
Okay, okay. So it's not extraordinarily sweet. It's just regular.
Yes, regular
So
milk.
if like me, you've been wondering how to pull it off, that's the easiest way to do so. So
Yeah.
you measure a full cup of, this is a full cup of milk though,
Yes.
evaporated milk, but you need to have a full cup of
Powdered
powdered
milk.
milk and then
Mix with your ½ cup of
water.
water.
So it will come out thick,
Yes.
and then you get the same consistency
of milk.
as this. Okay, so we'll continue with our mix, and then of course we'll have our cinnamon rolls ready to roll in a bit. Hopefully when you come back, it'll have poofed as it ought to. At this point, however, we have to take a break. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
Yes, this is Wake Up Nigeria, and we're on for our parenting segment on the show. Today, we will be discussing etiquette lessons parents should teach their kids. And this is, of course, we'll be having this discussion with Damilola Ogunsi, an etiquette expert and image consultant. She's also the author of 4 Moms, Golden Guidelines for Raising Excellent Kids, a book that offers mothers advice on how to raise well-behaved and emotionally responsible children. You are welcome. How are you doing today?
Very well.
All right, so let's get right into it. Etiquette lessons. So, first off, at what age, before you answer that, what are etiquettes?
Okay. Etiquette, it can be defined as characteristics that involves appropriate character that you need in all contexts, in all arenas of life. When you have them, it beefs up your reputation.
Okay.
So etiquette is just that, appropriate behaviors.
Now, let's look at what age do you start to imbibe these etiquettes in your kids?
Okay, as soon as a child can stretch their hand to ask for something, Mommy, I want biscuit. Mommy, water. Then you start teaching them etiquette. You start telling them this way, not this way. What is etiquette, as we rightly said? Behavior, appropriate behavior. So you start early.
Okay. Now, let's look at some appropriate behaviors. I know that you have quite a long list of behaviors, but today we are narrowing down on the negative behaviors that children learn from their parents unconsciously that they need to pay attention to and correct. So you want to talk about a few of these behaviors?
Okay, some that I've seen is allowing children to see themselves as friends with you, as your peers. You understand me? That's one. Then allowing children to hate you and just let them get away. Allowing children to talk over you when you are talking. Allowing children to talk back at you. These are inappropriate behavior that some parents allow their children to get away with.
Okay. When you say get away with, we're at that point where, I mean, there's been that debate about old parenting and new parenting. You know, there's people say that there's that huge gap between the 21st century parenting and the parenting that we are used to. So the parenting that we're used to is, if a child misbehaves, you spank the child.
Yes.
New
Generation.
21st century parenting is, oh, you talk to the child, you sit down, you communicate, you talk to the child. But then there's also that gap where even parents do not have enough time to have some of this, you know, lessons with their children. How do we make up for some of those lapses?
Well, this is what I always say. You said time is a factor here. It's a challenge, rather. Will you always be busy? No. There are times that you'll be free. You can create time on your calendar to be with your children. I mean, if it's 15 minutes a day that you can spend with your children, make sure that you impart some things. I mean, some knowledge, some character, good character to them. Watch them, because if you don't stay with them, how would you even know how they're behaving?
Yeah.
How would you know whether they've gotten out of hands or they're staying in order? So you should always create time. I mean, it's not an excuse. What are you working for? You're working for those children, right?
Right.
So what would be your gain in the end if what you're working for, you're not even raising them properly?
Okay.
So-
Now, some of those negative behaviors that you highlighted earlier on, as a parent, you have noticed this in your child. Maybe it's something that they must have picked up on that you have done. How do you correct it?
Sometimes it's not even your fault. It's something they pick from outside. They go to school, they play with kids in the neighborhood. The thing is that once you notice this behavior, you spoke about the Stone Age parenting and the new generation. Yes, parenting. One thing is that you don't batter a child all the time, because that is not the way you drive the point home. The thing is you have a particular behavior you want to correct. You said this behavior is wrong. You want to correct something. I don't want you behaving in the certain way, then you start beating. You don't even have a behavior to replace the negative one. So you must have a behavior, the positive behavior, to replace the negative one you are trying to correct.
Is that, do you want to highlight some of those positive behaviors?
Okay, let's say, for instance, your child usually have disrespect for your feelings. What do I mean by that? Like when you're busy, you say, oh, I'll talk to you when I'm done, but that child keeps coming back, as in you keep telling the child. See, sometimes you can't be assertive with children. You need to be logical with children. You need to give them reason. And not just reason, you need to speak in picture. Okay? Don't disturb me when I'm busy. Hasn't said anything, hasn't taught any behavior. You get what I'm saying?
I feel like you're talking to me here.
Okay, serene. Oh, you feel like I'm talking
I feel like you're talking to me
so,
here.
what do I mean by talking in picture? Okay? Don't disturb me when I'm busy. That's just talking.
Okay.
Children want reason. Okay? When I'm busy, you wait until I'm done. Now you're speaking in picture. You're giving the child or the children what to do. When I'm done, when you say that I'm busy, you wait until I'm done before you talk to me, and not, don't talk to me when I'm busy. I've told you I'm busy.
Okay. Another example that you'd like to raise?
Okay.
So that, okay, let me create a scenario for you, right?
Okay,
Because this happened recently. So I had a visitor over, and I would always tell the girls that, so when I'm on the phone, do not interrupt mommy. When I'm with a visitor, or when I'm even talking to your dad, do not interrupt me. Like, these are adults having conversations. You shouldn't, interrupt. It is rude to interrupt. And, kids, you have to keep, nurturing,
Yes,
correcting,
nurturing,
and telling
yes.
them. So, but they'll keep doing it, and I have to keep reminding them. And then there are times where, because they keep doing it, you would just snap, at them, and they would get it, right? So, in that kind of scenarios, what would you think is the best way to approach?
Okay, now I spoke about using the word don't. Don't just use the word don't. When you see I knew that talking, don't interrupt. You're still not communicating. Put it in picture, like you rightly said. Like when you see myself and your dad talking, you wait. Wait. Tell them what to do. Speak in picture. What you want, put it in picture.
It's more like being assertive as well.
Yes. When you see me and your dad talking, you wait until we are done. No, don't interrupt. Now, if you speak in this way to children need picture. They relate in picture. Give them picture. Put the picture what you want.
Okay.
Across. Then when you've done that over time, and I'm telling you, you should put this in practice. It will work for you. It has worked for me. You get? So if that is not happening now, you put this behavior down. This is, see, sometimes, I'm sure you have fridge at home, some expected behavior around the house. You can list them.
You listed them,
yes,
and
then the
paste
consequences. In front, you put an hyphen.
Okay.
Then the consequences. Oh, mommy says that if we don't do this, this is what will happen to us. So everybody. And sometimes you follow the consequences or the behavior with a reward. Then when we do this, there is a reward. I'm not saying you should be bribing them all the time.
Exactly. I was coming to that.
No, not bribing them all the time. But you see, when you reward them, it prompts them to behave more, to repeat that positive behavior over and over again.
Thank you so much. I have learned a lot from this conversation, to be honest.
Welcome.
And I know that we are going to continue, the conversation. I think the focus is going to be on horrible things that we do.
We do. Horrible things,
mistakes.
Mistakes and horrible things that we say to the children that we shouldn't say. Then we also look at horrible things that children say to us that we shouldn't.
We'll
allow.
continue that conversation, of course, next week. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you
Honored.
watching at home have learned something from this conversation. We have to head over to the kitchen now. Mary, those cinnamon rolls better be rolling.
Baby,
because I'm
better
going to
come and
roll to
Learn.
that kitchen.
No work. Okay, welcome again to the kitchen. Chef Dida is still hard at work, making us breakfast cinnamon rolls. Okay, so far so good. This is what you see after how many minutes? 1 hour, 2 hours?
1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you let that mixture rest for an hour, this is what you get. Okay. So you remember the mix we did earlier? This is what you get after it has rested for an hour. So Chef Dida is going to roll it. So learn how to roll it and get your cinnamon rolls just the way you want them. Okay. So we're taking little chunks.
No, we're
You're
going to
gonna
roll
roll it
everything.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to just add flour to it
To ease the rolling.
yeah.
Okay.
So you have to make it in a rectangular form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
So you don't have excess. You don't have to cut out excess odd shapes. Because by the time you start rolling, by the time we add our brown sugar and cinnamon, we'll have to roll to get that cinnamon roll. That's
Round.
that roundness here. So you have to make it in a square, in a rectangular shape. Then you add your butter and
Oh, you haven't. Okay, you're still gonna add butter to it.
yeah, I'm going to spread. I'm going to
Okay,
spread
so
butter on it.
I see you put butter in here as well.
Yeah.
This is to line the pan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So just roll.
Roll, roll. Yeah. So you have to put
Yeah.
more flour on that. Okay.
To avoid it sticking to your rolling pin.
Okay. So this rolling is going to take maybe a few more seconds, but in the meantime, let's check out the ingredients, okay? So in case you're just tuning in, these are what we are making use of for our cinnamon rolls this morning. If you missed something earlier, time to scribble it down quickly. Now, while everyone is writing that, I should mention that you already did a mix for the cinnamon.
Yes,
so we'll
the
talk about
cinnamon
that.
sugar. Yeah.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. This doesn't quite look like an amoeba. It has a bit of a shape.
So I'm
So I
going to-
cannot cut it. Okay, so you're going to cut off the
Yeah, I'll
edges
cut
to
off
get
the
in
edges to
rectangle.
get my rectangular shape.
Ah.
So I have to roll this once again.
Later,
to
yes.
get- yeah.
Okay.
That's just it.
So there we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to smoothing this out as well.
No, not that serious.
It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that deep. So
Okay, so now that's the cinnamon sugar.
Yeah.
Tell us how you came about that.
So I added my brown sugar. I added cinnamon to my brown sugar, the one I showed you earlier. Then just mix with my fork. You can use your hand. You can use anything.
If you had asked us to add another ingredient, Seth, I won't answer you. Because the cost of brown sugar these days is enough for you to even think of, can't I make cinnamon with white sugar? Will you get the same effect?
You can't get cinnamon. You can't get cinnamon with white sugar.
It has to be with brown sugar
Has
for you to
be
get
with-
your
yes,
rolls right.
Yeah. But there are alternatives for brown sugar.
Okay, what are they?
Yeah. So you have your black treacle.
Okay, your black treacle is an alternative.
Yeah, black.
Can I use date syrup?
No, really.
It won't
Black treacle and white sugar. So you just mix a tablespoon.
Okay, you have to mix the white sugar with black treacle.
Black treacle, yes.
Can I use honey?
No. you
It
don't
doesn't
get-
work. This cinnamon roll, it has too many restrictions.
It has.
Ah.
So after coating, just sprinkle
Okay. Let's take this off.
generously.
So you're through with this, right?
Yes, for
Okay.
now.
For now. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to be crushing anybody's bones this morning.
No, not at all.
Okay, so you have to spread it generously.
Yeah,
Then you roll, then cut it into the sizes you want.
yes, to get that
Okay.
effect.
Okay. Well, you already know what to do when it comes to rolling. So we're gonna roll it, and then of course we'll cut it to bits. You will see the size it will be in at the end of the show. But for now, though, we have to take a break because we have reached the top of the hour. At this point, Wake Up Nigeria will continue on the other side of the hour. Just stay with us.
Welcome once again, and truly you have to make hay while the sun shines because time waits for absolutely no one. The second hour is here. What can we say but welcome once again.
Indeed, it's been a spectacular 1 hour doing what we love to do and doing it with the right people as well. That makes it even more beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Aw.
I was only
My
looking
heart.
at you. Well, 45 minutes is what we have left. And of course, there's something cooking in the kitchen.
We can definitely smell it. It's
They are
so good. What are those again? Cinnamon rolls?
cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls.
Wow.
Yeah. Chef Vida is hard at work getting those cinnamon rolls ready, properly placed in our air fryer. How long is it going to take?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, and it's ready. It's good to
Hey man, what am I seeing there? Is she tying them up with something? What exactly is happening?
She
string.
uses a string.
To
you know,
get a fine cut.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So instead of a knife or a cutter,
Yeah.
you use a string.
yeah.
Ah,
ingenious. Oh, that's beautiful. Something I just learned today, but I'm looking forward to having that in my mouth. Not about the knowledge. It's all good. My name is Mazino Appeal.
and my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. Now remember, you can use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television. I can't get enough of saying that.
And you can also watch us live from anywhere that you might be. All you need to do is have the app on your phone on iOS or Google Play Store. It's that easy, just a click away.
Yes, you can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
Have you followed us yet? If you haven't, we're on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and everything else at TVC Connect. It's that simple.
Absolutely. Now let's check out what we have for you this hour. We still have a musical performance from Adebisi, a singer-songwriter and media producer. We cannot wait for this performance. Right after that, we'll be getting the latest scoop in the world of entertainment with Amitiana, content writer and entertainment enthusiast.
Damilola Ogunsi will be joining us on the couch for an interesting conversation. Now, he's an actor popularly known by his stage name, the Goldfish, and we can't wait to have him here, quite frankly. Grand, can't wait to have the Goldfish here on the couch. I want to have some very interesting conversation with him. By the way, watch out for entertainment that's coming your way. Oh, interesting thing happened yesterday. So, I was buying fuel, and I know that when petrol attendants try to talk to you, it's a red card. Has it ever happened to you? So this guy, I'm like regular, you know, what do you want? Fuel, okay. Gave him my ATM card. He punches it in, and then he says, this thing. Now he redirects me. We have to raise it up. And then I looked at the meter after he had started pumping. It was already at 500 and passed. And I waited for him to get to 1,000. I said, okay, Oga, stop. He stops, and I said, okay, zero that meter and give me my correct amount. He's like, no. I'm like, okay, let's not start this. Give me my 5,000 plus the 500 extra that you put. I'm not paying for that one. So he had to do that. Just be cautious out there. There's a lot of people who are cutting corners, and they're often doing that on your wallet. I don't like it when they do that.
So there's this thing about Nigerians. When you see somebody cutting corners, and you call the person out, other people are like, leave them now. Now the person they take survive. And so we've normalized corruption in every level, every angle. We think it's normal for people to cheat. We think it's normal for people to cut corners. We don't even see it as a problem. You say, you know what, making seafood.
Someone will say, when is your turn? Do your own. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I've actually heard that one as well. And I'm like, what exactly are we doing with ourselves in this country? We are very fond of saying, government, government,
you know what?
Government, but what are you doing?
It is actually, it is a virus. It has become very infectious, where even when you are not, you don't want to do it, but you're catching on the fever. Yeah, exactly. You're even catching on it without even being aware of it. It's that crazy. I was having that. I remember that conversation came up sometime last week, where I think it was Shegun that was talking about you really need to know someone. You know. Okay, so he was saying your network. It should be your net worth, right? That, you know, surround a certain circle of people that you surround yourself with that would actually, you know, take you to places, you know, help you achieve some of those dreams that you want to achieve. Yes, I agree with it. But then again, in my line of other businesses that I do, I have even now, I'm even aiding it where, okay, so since you are the facilitator, and don't worry, you get a certain percentage.
You get a certain
that's normal.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's not.
No, you see, this is the normalization you spoke about.
Let me tell you something. It depends on how you do it. There's something, it's not even
facilitator's
fee. So there's something called, is it finder's fee or something?
Yeah,
or
sort of.
There's a percentage you get when you refer someone's business.
Mary,
that
you work in that industry. You work in that industry. It is your job.
Exactly. You get paid.
Okay, that's no, that one is different. That's bribery now. Let's not
do you get?
It is bribery.
You almost fell for it there, though.
Bosses do. Bosses, all these commercial bosses, inflating prices at will. That's a topic for another day.
Vexing.
I am vexed. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashwa Alimi. We begin with political matters. Women from different parts of the state, that's Lagos State, have staged a solidarity walk in support of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Party. All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for second term. Notable among them are wife of the governor, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, and wife of the deputy governor, Oluremi Hamzat. Ademola Lawrence reports.
It's the start of the campaign season across the country, and supporters of the All Progressive Congress are leaving no stone unturned to ensure the party's victory come 2023. Women comprising artisans, traders, market women, and professionals from different parts of Lagos marched from the Tinubu Square through General Hospital down to Onikon at the Mobolaji Anthony Arena. The mammoth crowd trooped into the Onikon Stadium, seated in different groups and from different local governments. The women are confident of their choice to support APC presidential candidates and Governor Sanwo-Olu. For the state chairman of APC, this is a time for well-meaning residents of Lagos to determine the next president of the country.
This challenge that is confronting us as a nation. This is the time for all of us to come out, to use our votes to determine the next president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it's no other person than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The advocacy for collection of permanent voters card also took center stage at the rally.
I go to my church and other politicians around my church to sensitize them to go and collect their PPC. Likewise, I expect that all the women go to the mosque or different churches to sensitize them that it is not enough to register, but you must go and collect your PPC.
That is an indication that they are in support of Asiwaju, and they will do whatever it takes to take Asiwaju by the grace of God to Aso Rock.
For the women, Asiwaju Tinubu will drive the interest of women if elected as president of Nigeria.
Female leaders emerging in the world is going to get to Nigeria with a he for she president like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Wait and see. We have experienced his ways. In the National Assembly years ago, I was there, Abike Dabiri was there, one other sister of us was also there. He made sure we got our quota for Lagos State. We are in great support of our great leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his vice, Shetima, and also the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat. We troop out today just to show our support for our great leaders. May Almighty Allah help us and make it easy for us.
With few months to the 2023 general elections, supporters of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu are making effort to canvass votes for the All Progressive Congress candidates, even as the party is here to inaugurate its presidential campaign council. Damilola Lawrence, TVC News, Lagos.
Outside Nigeria, Brazil's election is going into a second round in which left-winger Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will face incumbent President Jair Bolsonaro. With almost all the votes counted, Luiz Lula won 48% against President Bolsonaro's 43%. Both candidates fell short of the more than 50% of valid votes needed to prevent a runoff, and voters now have 4 weeks to decide which of the two should lead Brazil. In a brief news conference on Sunday, President Bolsonaro said the voting reflected the poor economic conditions felt by Brazilians and promised to appeal to voters who are worried about rising prices. More than 123 million Brazilians waited in long lines to vote in the world's fourth largest democracy, while another 32 million abstained. And that's it on the news updates for today on Wake Up Nigeria. There's so much more to come. Do stay with us. Finally, Damilola Ogunsi is on the couch with us, and together we will be having an interesting conversation. He's an actor.
Yeah, popularly known by his stage name, the Goldfish.
Okay.
Hey.
I was like waiting for all the drum rolls, the clashing,
That's your job now. That's what you do now. You're the artist.
Oh, I was supposed to come with my drum.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Pleasure to be here.
Ideas next time he's coming.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Just say,
There's going to be Panana come with me with a band.
So the Goldfish, at what point did, since the inception into your transition into the movie industry, you were not bearing Goldfish. What inspired the name, the Goldfish?
Okay, so the name the Goldfish has been on for, I've had it as a nickname for the longest of times. Though there are two stories to it, there's a romantic side and there's a criminal side. So which one?
Both.
Dish it out.
You can't pick one, just pick one.
Okay, so she'll take the romantic side, I'll take the action side.
All right, so the Goldfish, that particular name, which I think is very apt. When I was in primary school, I attended this convent, or St. Clair's, a convent, Catholic, primary school. And they used to tell us not to go to the convent, during school hours. But, I was quite naughty, me and my other minions, and, so we decided one day to go to the convent, and so we were caught. But funny enough, they didn't even chase us because I was there, so they left us.
Yes,
but sometimes...
It's recognizable.
Thank you. So sometimes later in the class, I think it was like headmaster or something with one of the priests came to fish me out and said, "Don't you know that you are a goldfish?" And that was the first place that actually came. That was the criminal side of it. And my friends had, fun calling me that for a while. Then he died off. Then, so many nicknames along the line, Damien, Bino, different nicknames. But sometimes back in about 2010, when I wanted to take my MCing work seriously and I needed a new nickname. So I was dating this lovely girl then, and her sisters really liked me. So they started calling me Goldfish again. So one day I just thought about, why am I looking for a name? The Goldfish was up. I just got to an event and said, okay, when they're going to bring me up, call me the Goldfish. And they did. Goldfish. And bang, spot on.
And then sometimes you add the Goldfish 007.
Oh.
I see that because you're like a James Bond fan.
I think I should be the #1 James Bond fan in Africa, actually. I'm
Right.
totally obsessed about that character.
Yeah, and congratulations on the end of Delima that just wrapped up.
Thank you.
And that was quite a success,
Thank you. Thank
on
you.
screen.
Thank you.
Well done on that one. But tell us, your journey through, how was it on set? Tell us your experience. Want to share some of that with us? I mean, you played one of the most, one of those roles. I know it's one of those roles that you really looked forward to. So talk us through that experience.
When I got cast to play Tanko Ahmed in Dilemma, I'd already done it. It's a 260 episode telenovela for African Magic. I'd already done one before, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do another again because that's a lot of intense filming. So when I read the script, it's sort of a James Bond-y character.
Yeah.
He's a villain, but now he has other good sides to him. He's a loyal family man and all that. It's kind at heart. So he takes his work seriously and he defends his family at all costs. So getting to that character, I had to actually read a lot, study a lot about, killers and all that and how their mind works and being a father and all that. So it was great on set. And there was actually a time jump in the series where, there was a 23-year time jump where I had to play 65. So, and I am very far away from 65, but because, makeup and everything, and limping and everything, it was a beautiful character. It was nice being on set with some of the amazing actors. Jocelyn Duma, Sadi was also there. Many great, Susan Peters, Susan Thek, so many great actors were on that set. So it was good, it was intense. We filmed Monday through Saturdays every week for 9 months. But I enjoyed it, and one of the things that I love about doing this work is how you get to delve deep into the life of someone else and live the life of someone else. So I learned a lot from playing Tank more than I've learned from any other character I've played. Especially being a father, being loyal, being responsible, duty, putting family first, love. I enjoyed it. It was so sad to see it end, but the reviews from the fans were mind-blowing.
They were.
So I'm very grateful to be able to do what I do.
So I have a two-pronged question. On the one hand, you talked about being a family man and all. And so my first question is coming from the conversation we had earlier today, talking about, a man losing his job and life after. Okay. Now, you came from the banking industry.
All right.
So was it something you probably were doing on the side before the entertainment thingy, or did you up and quit just to focus on your dreams?
Yeah, so I would say that I was doing it as a hobby all the while. I started acting since primary school. I started doing theater since primary school. I even still remember lines from my very first play, This Is Our Chance.
Nice.
So all the way from primary school, secondary school, Polytechnic, university, church. I've always been in drama. That's the only group I've always been in, drama. So sometimes about 2014, I got my first entry into a film with, I think it was Tola Balogun. Then it was a small TV series. So I played little parts, but I was in banking then. I'd also MC. I was still in banking. So it was a side thing. But I've always wanted to be an actor since I was a little boy. In my house, once we watch a Chinese film, I'm fighting everybody that day. If it's a lover boy film, I'm loving everybody. If it's a musician film, I'm playing guitars all day. So I've always wanted to. So around 2014, when this thing started, did a couple of films. Then I knew this is where my heart was. So I went to film school, the New York Film Academy. Then came back. Then a couple of months after, I decided to just quit and go all in. Because there was no way I could really do it, as a job and also handle banking as well. And, so I followed my heart.
Because what made me ask that is because I know bankers already have their work cut up to here. And so for you to even have enough spare time to do this, wow, you must take a lot of commitment and passion. So the other question I wanted to ask you had to do with what you were talking about, as Tanko. There are people who find themselves becoming so much a part of a character that in a way it becomes part of their lives. And so people tend to find it difficult to differentiate them from that personality. You see actors and actresses that have acted several roles, but then they act a particular role, and that is what sticks. And so producers stop calling them for other roles, and it becomes a stereotype. Now, for you, as a Tanko influenced you in such a way that it probably took a lot for you to remove yourself from reality, from the drama to reality. Was it that way for you?
Yes, it really was. Firstly, for me, I can't play a character that I judge. Once I judge the character, I can't play. And I couldn't judge Tanko. I loved that character, really enjoyed what he stood for. So it was easy for me to, it was hard. It was a lot of work getting into it, but it was a lot more work getting out of it. So it became such a part of me that, and because of the training I have, it's live your life like the character. So I spent 9 months actually living most of my life like that, even walking with a limp. Because I usually find out sometimes after I'm done on set and I'm walking to my car and I'm unconsciously walking with a limp. Or talking with a character voice, because this is not Tanko's voice. Tanko's voice was deeper and slower than this. So all
give
those.
us a line of it.
So I'll just, as I'm talking, I'm just going to change it to that character voice. So a lot of things that Tanko would normally say would just come slower and not as more deliberate. He's more focused and on what he says than I am.
Nice.
You know, he does many things where he knows that family stands first. So basically like that. So sometimes it's hard getting out of it. I played a character called Akajo in one TV series called Ajoche. It took me about 6 months to really get him out of my system.
Wow.
And so that's one of the issues you'd have this work if you really want to go deep.
Interesting.
So I know that you're a lover boy. So quickly, I'll just ask you, are you in love? Is there any special woman in your life?
Am I in love? That's a bit because I'm not
dropping all those romantic nuggets.
Well, I'm a lover boy through and through. So right, am I? Is there someone? Yeah, I can say that. But if you're asking, are you asking? Wait, let me ask you. Ask me straight. Are you asking me if I'm
in a relationship?
Okay, so I'm going to be very honest. No, not at the moment. But I'm presently doing interviews and I'm taking references. So
no comments about that. So at this point, we're going to
love that look on your face.
We're going to head to the kitchen. While we're heading to the kitchen, we're going to take a look at some of your material. And then when we get to the kitchen, you remember that drama you said you did as a child?
Yeah,
You're
the primary school one.
Give us the lines that you remember. So after that is when you will get breakfast. Okay?
All right.
Shikina.
No
Let's
problem.
take a look at this cake.
You are not my mother. Kaita here. Haba. Okay. If I'm not your mother, then Kanto is not your brother. Okay, you need to focus on Kanto. Ignore this one for now. Listen to your friend. Get out. Make me tired. You will not speak to her like that.
Okay, welcome to the kitchen.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so breakfast today is by Chef Dida. Yeah. And she's made this delicious cinnamon rolls. I don't know what she added to make it creamy like this. So she will have to explain that one.
It's
but
just
dig
whipping
into
cream.
It.
Just whipped cream.
Just
Yeah,
whipped
ice cream.
Quickly,
Please
have
dig
a
in. We
taste.
need to get your feedback on the taste.
Okay, sure.
Absolutely jealous man.
Go ahead.
Praying man.
That looks
Jealous
good,
of what?
actually. Well done.
Oh, all that cream and cinnamon. It's like something
This
that
is what it looks like. Yes, it looks amazing.
Yum sound.
Wow.
It's like having cake and ice cream.
Yeah.
Hot cake.
hot, indeed, because I can see the steam coming off of that one. I mean, don't burn your mouth.
That was hot.
It's not that hot, is it?
Okay.
Like it, love it.
Nice. Well, you know you got your reward before the job.
Exactly. You were supposed to do
Wait,
something.
give us the
What's
line.
the job?
Quickly.
You've not given us the line. Oh yeah, quickly.
So if
because
wait, let me ask you one question now. If I form line now, how will you know? I'm just asking you because I'm an actor. I can.
No, you said you can remember now. You can't open your mouth full. So we're gonna spare you. Okay?
Well, this is good.
Thank you.
I can imagine, man.
Well, this is
Well,
good.
that's it for the
You
show
live,
for
you
Tuesday.
live close by.
Yes, very close.
Very close.
She lives everywhere.
All right.
Where she lives is easily accessible.
All right. So you want? So what do you want? First lines from my.
Yes.
All right. So because the audience, of course, people are watching and they can verify. So the first play I acted in was when I was in primary 4, called "This Is Our Chance," and I played ambassador. So I remember the opening line was, "Your Grace, I bring you word from the chief of Udura, whose noble son is your prisoner."
That's it.
That's what I can
And
remember.
the fact that he remembers it so well.
I mean,
Oh wow. At this point, we have to say a very big thank you to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Our guests,
Thank
the
you.
crew, and you, importantly, for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.